Howdy folks, welcome to Retsutalk episode 39. Pleased to announce I am drinking wine from a Tupperware container with a straw. That's how ready I am for this. Slow Beef, how about you?
Alabama, ladies and gentlemen.
Alabama.
I'm drinking iced tea out of a plastic cup. I came back from my cousin's wedding in Delaware yesterday, so there is that.
And speaking of Delaware, we have supergreatfriend with us here today.
Yes, speaking of Delaware, as I'm very much related with Delaware.
How close are you to Delaware right now?
Well, probably as far away as Slow Beef is, since we live in the same state.
See, completely relatable.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea you were in my state.
Yeah, I actually work for that state.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
New Jersey has a high demand for Let's Play?
Yes, actually, that is what I do for the state. I am a government-sanctioned Let's Player. I have strict regulations I have to apply to. By the way, I was drinking premium ginger brew ginger ale.
Whoa.
From a glass bottle. It's very classy.
It's a small world, though. There's a few New Jersey Let's Players there. We got Vicus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever saw him.
Yep.
Voidburger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyone who starts with a V, really.
Yeah, actually, it's or an S, apparently.
I do seem to remember some sort of poll on Something Awful some time ago where there was an inordinate amount of people who were from New Jersey. It was kind of surprising.
Yeah, we don't have much in the States sometimes. Well, it depends, really.
Yeah, we don't have much, so we all sit at home talking over video games. Is that why we're doing this?
Like New York, but too piss poor to live there? New Jersey.
It's kind of, I wouldn't, to be fair, I wouldn't really say piss poor as opposed to not either.
Normal income? New Jersey.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to give 90% of my income to rent, more or less. But, I laugh, but you do get to live in New York, so there is that. But, are you from the New York side or the Philadelphia side of Jersey?
I'm more towards the north and slightly to the west. So, I mean, it's really more. I could catch a train and be in New York within an hour. So.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I used to live in Jersey City, so it was like 15 minutes. Yeah, right across the Hudson River. Diabetes, on the other hand, though, lives in a state where you have your couch on the front porch and stuff.
You darn tootin'.
Well, you also live right by a train, as we just found out.
Yes, that's right. I live on a train.
Is the couch right by the train tracks? It's what you're watching? It's how you pass the time?
It's kind of a substitute for television.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, you should try doing a Let's Train kind of thing. Just film the train going by, talk over it.
It's a very on-rails experience.
You call that a boxcar?
Did you ever read The Boxcar Children?
The what?
The Boxcar Children.
I've never even heard of the Boxcar Children.
It was a popular book series when I was a youngin'.
Oh. No, I never read it or heard of it.
I have not heard of that either. Maybe it didn't have much penetration in New Jersey, in the Garden State.
It's a southern thing.
We have a very high intellectual wall for what books make it into the state is the thing.
It's a Jersey thing.
We all talk like that. It's true.
It's true, actually.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
We're just putting on a voice for the podcast.
Basically, more or less. I actually play up this accent to get more subscribers and likes on YouTube. Excuse me, subscribers or likes. It's a mutually exclusive kind of thing.
Every video recording experience is a struggle to talk like this and keep my natural accent at bay.
I have a lot of cues I've learned from actors and such to keep me in the right character for it,
Do you guys say y'all ever?
No.
I say it all the time.
Oh,
thank you, because it's convenient, right?
Yeah.
No, it is good. I have friends from the South who don't have anything to do with video games, who say y'all a lot, and it is very convenient.
So why don't you acknowledge that the South gives good things every now and then?
Because I'm from New Jersey, and we get shit on 24/7.
More than the South?
Right. Honestly, I don't think we have to acknowledge anyone else, considering how what people say about New Jersey. Honestly.
I mean, yeah. The worst MTV ever did to just laying your state out to dry was Buck Wild, and that was still West Virginia, which is really, really the South. I think North Carolina is really where the South begins, right? It's the
when you think of the deep South, yeah.
Yeah, right. West Virginia, it's pretty weird there, but nobody ever thinks of it. But you think of New Jersey.
Virginia, you can slice it in half horizontally. The north half, you have you're getting to the kind of the DC-ish area.
Right.
vicinity, rather. And then the south, you get kind of the south.
Right. For those of you just joining us, this is a video game-based podcast somehow.
Wait, what?
I didn't know either.
Welcome back to Retsu Geography.
I thought this was a podcast talking about the great states of this nation.
Well, it is something like where...
So we've covered Alabama and New Jersey,
Yeah.
2 of the great states.
We did mention West Virginia, so that's 3.
And Delaware.
Oh, Delaware, that's right.
All right, I guess we filled the quota then.
In case you weren't Delaware of that before.
Oh, dear.
Hey.
Whoa, that's why he's on the podcast.
That's what we're here for.
And he was worried.
What?
We have something. We're doing things a bit different this time around because we've been bringing more guests on lately, more celebrity guests, you know, and as you most certainly are, Mr. Great Friend.
Yes, great's right in the name.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have the D or did you lose the D in friend?
Well, basically most services that you sign up to, like Twitter, has a 15 character limit.
Oh.
And it turns out that I guess I wasn't thinking when I came up with the name originally. It has 16 characters, so I have to drop one pretty much every time I sign up for something.
Because it kind of reads like you think you're a really great friend, but lose confidence in it as you're saying it. I'm a super great friend.
I rarely ever actually say the name. I mean, pretty much I came up with it when I first signed up to Something Awful, like 5 years ago, and I spent all 2 seconds thinking of the name. If I knew I was going to use it for this long, I probably would have put more thought into it.
I understand.
Well, now you have a convenient 3-letter acronym.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So goof.
That's true. I mean, but you know, the thing is that, diabetes actually wouldn't be a bad username if not for the meme, which I don't really blame you for.
I came up with that username before I was aware of the meme, FYI.
Before Wilford, right, I gotcha.
But I don't think anyone would believe the actual origin story of that name, which I've gone over before on various Ask Me a Question sites.
Well, it's funny because like somebody had once sent me a Google Trends thing with like retsupurae, slow beef, and diabetes, and I felt really bad because diabetes was like shooting the fuck up, and then I'm like, oh, the meme nobody cares about.
Yeah.
No, but did we ever do name chat, by the way?
Name chat?
Yeah, like why we chose the names we did.
No, we're almost 40 episodes in now.
Okay. Do you have any good story as to?
That means we can recycle content.
Oh, okay, cool. In that case, hey, we're going to PAX. Have you gone to any video game conventions ever?
No, I've never really been a convention goer. I mean, like years ago, there was one I went to, UberCon, but that wasn't really strictly video games. But I've never really been to any conventions like PAX or like, you know, the big ones like E3 or anything like that.
Right. I had never gone before PAX, honestly. I've been to conventions like for business and shit like that, but yeah, nothing like just for fun.
AppleCon.
Maybe it's a good thing because whenever I read people on Twitter talking about PAX, it always starts off with people talking about how great it is, and everyone gets real angry. It happens every time.
Yeah, no.
Lines!
Well, there's it's fun and it's you can kind of like drop the pretension and be like, all right, I can just unabashedly like video games and not worry about things for like a weekend.
I think it's at its best when you just use it as a way to hang out with people.
Yeah, more or less. Like, I mean, the panels are kind of, some of them are like kind of neat, but most of them are just like, hey, you know, I could be like trying out a cool game or whatever with my friends, you know, that kind of deal. Yeah, but I think tickets sold out. Well, the 3-day pass is sold out in like an hour this year or something ridiculous, but I don't know. But I've become aware now of all these there's like MagFest in, I think that's in January?
Yeah, first of the year.
First of the year in Maryland, which we got invited to by like the Navigator people. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Yeah, was it Music and Games? Is that what that stands for?
Yep. Music and Games Festival. Metabot, I don't know if you know him from SA.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually recommended that to me a while back.
Okay.
Apparently that's a little more just like I won't say like a party scene per se, but that there's like a lot more drinking and a lot more just like fuck around.
Like a concert venue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, more or less.
It's not the deadly serious game that PAX is.
Deadly serious, exactly. And then
there's RTX.
Yep, Rooster Teeth. I didn't know had a convention. Is that new? Do you know, or?
I think it's been going on for a while.
Okay. That's cool.
That's over in Austin.
Yeah, I've never been to Austin. I've never been to Texas, actually.
You've never left New Jersey?
No, I haven't. No, I know. I just mentioned at the beginning of this. I clearly didn't.
They don't let us leave New Jersey. That should be clarified.
It's like Papers, Please, more or less. Hey, speaking of which, I've been playing a lot of Papers, Please, and I really like it a lot.
Would you describe it as fun?
I don't know why, but I really... You haven't played it yet, have you?
I have.
Oh.
I talked about it many podcasts ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm
May not have been on it, though. How'd I forget?
I have yet to play it with the nudity option, because I'm always playing it in public, and also I have a chronic masturbation problem.
But you do play it while you're nude, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Friend, you're a fan of this game, right?
Yeah, I've played some of it. I've gotten a couple of the endings. Have you either of you gotten any of the endings? Because there's a bunch.
I'm at about like the halfway point.
I got one of the endings, and I did watch a couple on YouTube.
Yeah.
But right now I'm like trying to like I've been setting goals for myself. Like I'm trying to get past like certain amounts of money and things like that.
Sure.
Like I think I figured out the best way to streamline day one, which I know is like by far and away the easiest day.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm trying to figure out like how to like streamline everything and just make the most cash.
I usually am not too worried about that. I'm more trying to figure out whose side I want to take. Generally, I've been a very loyal border guard and just turned away all of these attempts at subverting our glorious Ostolska.
Right.
Did you turn away the wife who was just trying to get in with her family?
Hell yeah.
Oh.
She didn't have the papers.
I didn't. I never let her in.
You thought about the papers and not so much about the pleas.
I don't even know why that word's in the title.
It's well, I think it really adds to the like when somebody, it's like basically when somebody cocks the barrel, like paper, please. But
remember that comma.
Well, you know what's funny is I played I can't think of the developer's name right now. But I played another one of their games called the Republic Times.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to spoil it, but after the ending to that game, I wasn't so into Ezek, because I think, like, the first time you play through it, you're probably like, oh yeah, I want to help the rebels, because, I'm in sort of this Cold War, vaguely Eastern European country, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't know, because I was getting the feeling that maybe Ezek's not so great either. I have no, you know what I mean?
I have not played the Republic Times, but as far as I can tell, when playing Papers, Please, if you adhere to the government, I have not gotten any... It's not been worthwhile, I think. I haven't been getting any kind of rewards for doing that. I usually just get thrown in prison in the end. I don't know if going with Ezek will end up with any better.
Well, I can tell you that there's basically kind of rewards for doing both the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you have to be. There's a little tricky to do both. But
right.
There's certain things that there's like little tricks. Like so this guy Rocket Baby Games, I think, or Rocket Baby Let's Plays, is that his name? Did a Let's Play of it on Something Awful. So like there's neat ways to kind of learn how to deal with the guy who kills somebody in Republia and is escaping.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the track star, yeah.
The track star, or the guy who's like runs the brothel.
Right.
Yeah. But because you can get him detained even though his papers are bad or okay.
Yeah, I figured that out, that you could actually use the note as evidence to get him detained.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, when you get to the point where you will get money if you detain people, did you take advantage of that?
I did.
Of course.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Their papers were not in order.
See, you know what I'm wondering then, too, is I started then not detaining people until Kalentz the guard makes the offer. Mm-hmm. Because without that incentive, then I'm like, well, I don't get anything for detaining people, really. And it actually takes a little longer, it seems like. So I just deny them and next,
Well, I mean, I detain them anyway.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that its own reward?
Well, no, yeah, sort of is. Yeah,
it does feel pretty good.
It does.
I mean, they brought forged papers into the booth.
Right.
They get what they have coming to them.
You never know. They could be one of those people lobbing a grenade or whatever once they're on the other side.
You never know.
And they give you that flashy red button. How can you not push it?
I mean, you don't see what happens to the families of those guards who die.
No,
no one thinks about them.
Or the one guy in green. I mean, we knew him from back in the day. Absolutely.
Did he survive in your game?
No.
He survived in mine. I was able to get him through.
I've heard mixed things. Yeah, I think it's like you have to be. Yeah, I think you have to kind of know part of it's coming because it's the motorcycle guy. I think that actually kills him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to like kind of really be quick on the draw there.
Well, I just had the key by the list laying there by the lock the whole time in case I needed it.
That's smart. I'm thinking of cheating and putting the issuing cities on like a notebook paper or something like next to my computer, so I don't even have to refer to the book.
Well, I'm not sure if regulations allow that, Slow Beef.
Oh, well, regulations don't allow me to cross-reference the Mezek cards and, possibly let through the rebels, but, we don't talk about that.
You wouldn't actually do that, though.
No!
Good comrade. I'm getting a little worried about you.
No, come on. Glory to Artotska. Glory to Artotska. Is that it, Artotska?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Arstoska.
Arstoska. How do we know that?
Well, no one pronounces it. I just said it like that, and it came out, so I'm going to guess that's how it's pronounced.
It sounded roughly official.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I want to talk to you about your Let's Play career.
My illustrious career,
yes.
Which I started right after getting out of college. I majored in Let's Play, don't you know?
Wow, that's awesome.
And my career's been skyrocketing.
Nice. Do me a favor, keep recording. But Diabetes' internet just went out.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me finish this question. And we'll get into it while he gets back up.
Sure.
All right. I have a question. All right. So your illustrious Let's Play career. So you did Illbleed. You did a few on on essay.
Mm-hmm.
But like two of your bigger ones were Illbleed and Deadly Premonition.
Right.
I gold mined Deadly Premonition actually.
Yes,
so
you did. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I really like that Let's Play, and I was like, I try to keep that kind of rare, but that was the sort of thing where I'm like, yeah, I'd really like to see more things like this, because it was really like a high effort sort of thing. But then apparently 1UP contacted you.
They did,
and they said I'm presuming said, could you do, was it Shadows of the Damned for 1UP.com?
Well, basically the way it went was Bob Mackey, who worked for 1UP at the time, he approached me after the Deadly Premonition LP was over. Oh, is Diabetes back?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, sorry, having southern internet issues.
No problem. I was just asking him about the 1UP thing, and I kind of made the question sound really long, so...
And I had a transition statement prepared for when you started talking about these LPs that he's done, and now the opportunity's lost.
Well, maybe we could just edit that together.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah. So, let's see, 1UP. What were we talking about, Bob? Yeah, right, yeah, you're saying 1UP. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right, so Bob Mackey came to me and said that he was interested in me doing an LP for 1UP, because he really liked the Deadly Premonition LP, and I guess 1UP were trying to think of new things that they could do for their site, some sort of new content, since, of course, I mean, they had been bought by IGN. They had downsized, so they were not as large as they were, so they were trying to figure out what they could do to keep things going. And they asked if I could do an LP for them. I gave them a few suggestions. And fun fact, one of the suggestions was Harvester.
Oh, hey. What do you know?
Let me see if I can sell that shit real quick.
I just thought it would be funny if they said yes.
Right.
No, but they wanted Shadows of the Damned, which was another of the suggestions. So we just went with that, did it once a week. Around halfway through the LP, however, I think we got to the end of the year, and they rebudgeted, and they decided to not go on with it. I just completed the LP on my own channel.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's just basically how it went. They were just trying to come up with new content, just try to figure out something new. And I guess they were trying to combine more social elements with their game coverage.
I see. Is there, do you feel any different when you actually, make a Let's Play, on... I guess I don't even know if there was money involved or whatever, but, on commission?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess I could call myself a professional LPer because I actually did receive a paycheck for that.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't, but yeah, no, go ahead.
It had IGN's logo on it and everything.
What? Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of nuts. Did you deposit it, or did you just frame it then as
No, I deposited it.
Okay.
I mean, I just kept it around for a few days to laugh at, but then, yeah, I eventually deposited it.
Holy shit, an IGN check.
Mm-hmm.
If you get fired from IGN, do they, tell you, look, we have to give you a 6 out of 10, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they didn't think I brought anything to the table.
I see, gotcha. So it was 5.5 mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, your services are no longer needed, but you're still way better than God Hand.
Maybe I should have suggested that for the LP.
You call it. So I wonder why they didn't go with Harvester, though. I wonder how that would have went, honestly.
I mean, I just really wanted to see, like, once a week, a Harvester video appearing on OneUp.com's front page. I thought that would have been funny.
Absolutely. And who knows? It might not, I mean, actually, to be completely honest, I didn't watch your Shadows of the Damned Let's Play because you had sold out. No. It was one of those games I was actually kind of interested in playing myself, and then I just sort of fell off the radar, and I didn't for whatever reason. But how did that go? You think in terms of your body of work?
I mean, I like the game, so I tried to do a good job on it. I think the LP was all right, not as good as say something like the Deadly Premonition LP.
Sure,
but I mean, in the case of the Deadly Premonition LP, that game kind of sells itself. I mean, while I had to do a lot of editing work, especially for like the movie reviews, really the game is so interesting on its own. I was just to the side of it, really.
Yeah.
With how this was an LP for hire, so to speak, did you take any kind of a different approach than in your kind of just for fun, hobbies, stuff that you did for SA?
Really, the only advice they had was the length of the videos, which I think, if I remember right, they were saying they were looking for shorter videos, like around 15 minutes in length.
Okay.
I think that was really the only note they gave to me.
Gamers have no attention spans.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it's weird, though, now, because it seems like the standard YouTube Let's Play video length, I mean, granted, it runs the gamut, but I think it seems like the sweet spot, and either of you can tell me I'm full of shit on this, is like 20, 30 minutes, maybe.
I've noticed, I mean, it just seems to me that usually if I see a YouTube LP, they're going to go for the 11-minute length. I mean, but you know why that would be the case.
Right. I mean, nowadays, though, you don't really have to do much to get the thing off anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't mean the time limit. I mean, that's the shortest length. I think that's around the shortest length of video that you can have where you can still apply all of the advertising options to it.
Oh,
Right.
I didn't realize that. That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, but you know, too, is just kind of weird. Like I noticed sometimes will put up like 51 minutes or like an hour and 40, which kind of just says to me like, I just put it all up. I didn't even watch it back. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? It's done.
I just kept it on all day.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
It's like,
I stepped away to cook some dinner while this was recording. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
Long cutscene.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I recorded it in the face cam, so there's still content.
Do you think people have stock face cam footage they use?
You mean just like if the video is pretty much the same thing every
like record
day?
various reactions? Like, okay, I'll put this one here. This is my shocked face. Put this over this sequence.
I do, frankly.
Okay, well.
I have my Slender Man mask for my Scarecam LPs, so that way, like, I'm just set no matter what. I can just dub the audio over it and pretend.
It works.
Absolutely.
See, these little tricks that you learn by listening to podcasts like these.
Absolutely, yeah. You should. That Northern Lion guy has like crazy tricks for stealing people's money. Oh,
I hate that guy.
No, we don't. We don't, because
We love all of our guests.
we're washing in their celebrity musk as we speak.
How evocative of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're still doing the LP thing, or I've noticed you've done some streaming stuff recently. You're starting to deviate more into that?
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of the stuff I've been doing has been a lot of streaming videos just because I like the idea. I mean, most of the stuff I was doing was recording games and then editing and doing post-processing on it. So I kind of like the idea of trying to do live stuff.
Of putting in the least amount of effort as possible is what you're saying.
Yes, definitely. I mean, if I just sort of slouch up to the microphone each week and then just sort of sleepwalk through it. And actually, it requires a lot more effort, I think, than anything else I've done.
Why do you say that?
Just you have to do everything on the fly and there's no second take.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to, basically the idea is I want to try to make the streamed videos as good as an LP videos, which, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Right.
But trying to do all the preparation necessary to get all that ready beforehand actually takes a lot of time, and actually doing the playthrough while doing it live and monitoring everything and watching the chat is probably harder than any other LP I've done.
Well, it's funny because I find that if I'm practicing a game for an LP, Like, especially like a hard game like Contra 3 or Cave Story on Hard or things like that, you know. It goes a lot smoother when you're not recording. But then once you are, it's like, and you're commenting, if you're doing the live especially, it's like you're trying to balance, it's like you're multitasking in a way.
Yeah, you're trying to think about a whole lot of different things at once.
Yeah, and then live, you have the intense pressure of, you have to get it right the first time. Plus, like you say, the chat, the screen, you know, the actual broadcasting, technical back end, things like that, while you're playing, while you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I try to set up my streams as a very cash thing where those expectations don't exist.
I try that too. I'm just basically like, this is not going to be any good.
Right. I started off doing the casual streams and then just sort of tried to get more into it with higher production values.
I hear you.
By the way, when talking about trying to multitask and looking at all these things at once, one word for you: cocaine.
Oh, shit.
That's the secret.
See, I was a big fan of methamphetamine because you just stay up for like hours and hours. You can just keep fucking streaming.
Even when you're not online.
Absolutely, yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. It's a streaming content. See, other than cocaine, I just did a lot of NyQuil. But it didn't have the right effect, I found, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's the opposite, actually.
Yeah, no, that's totally awful. It's my it's my anti-drug.
LP is what keeps you off of the stuff.
Did you do a bunch of Ouya games? Is that how you pronounce it?
Ouya.
Ouya.
Yes, the Ouya. Yes, I did a few Ouya videos after I bought the thing, because it is the hot new movement. I don't know if you knew this.
Okay.
The hot new movement in video games, Android consoles.
Oh,
the
all
Ouya
right.
is just the first. I mean, you have a bunch of others coming out, like the one from Amazon. You have GameStick. Mad Catz is making one. I mean, it's. Yeah, actually. And this is taking over video games. Ouya was the pioneer, the trailblazer. You better get on this boat, and it's going to leave you behind.
Well, it's
Sure about that.
You know, I was going to say it sounds kind of like fragmentation would be an issue, but that's never been an issue with any Android product. So.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
It's all going to work out great.
What is the best Ouya game?
You mean Ouya exclusive? Because most of the games are not.
Right. Most of them are also for Android phones, right? Or no?
Sort of. I mean, there are actually Ouya exclusive games.
Oh, no,
there are PC games that were ported to the Ouya specifically.
Like a little indie hit called Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on the Ouya.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
If you want to buy Android games from the Amazon store and just play those straight, just not Ouya games, just like just Android games, you can do that.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, you have that, but not many Ouya exclusive games, really. I mean, I guess the best one is Towerfall, if you've heard of that. I haven't really played that because that's local multiplayer only. Doesn't really has sort of a single player training mode, but it's nothing worthwhile. That's supposed to be coming out on the PC, so it's not going to be Ouya exclusive for very long.
Do you ever want to come over and play some Towerfall? I mean, we live right in the same state. Yeah, awesome, cool.
I'll get 3 more Ouya controllers.
Oh, please, yeah.
By the way, the build quality on the controllers, fantastic.
I've heard that. That's the one thing that sticks out.
It's the part where you press the main action button and it sticks under the frame of the controller, and when you know the product is quality.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just be careful using Android stuff around Slowbeef because he gets very angry and temperamental when you mention Android.
I am an iOS. I'm technically both, but I'm more an iOS developer. So yeah, that Android gets me dander up, shaking fist.
Maybe Apple has to get their ducks in a row and make a micro console of their own.
Well, you know, did I ever tell you
it's called
that,
the iPad, isn't it?
Actually, no. We went to the Apple conference in 2012, and I think they were like really subtly pushing that.
Oh, really?
Because they had a lot of presentations that were like, "Hey, look, your iPad can stream to a second screen like a television. Here's a racing game we made. Interesting, isn't it?" Here and then like a lot and I'm like, are they like trying to get me to make the iPad into a console because I'm so lazy, you know. So I don't think it's a real deal play, but I think they are trying to like push Apple TV and things like that. So they're
like built into Apple TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I have an Apple TV actually. I got it as a gift.
Okay.
And I do like it. Although if you have a game console, it does kind of, it's like Hulu, Netflix, you know, all that shit. It just looks iTunes. So
all of the features that the Ouya made standard.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. But getting back to the Ouya, yeah, and don't forget they have that one the one hit game that they tweeted like come get some with that was it that
the cancer game?
Yeah, that Dragon Cancer. Did you hear about that, Beatus?
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah. So that was an odd thing that there's an indie game that got some play about someone making sort of a personal experience on the subject of cancer. You know, it's not like a big bombastic video game. It's just sort of like a personal art game. And then it got made exclusive to Ouya, and Ouya on their Twitter posted the news for that, and then like ended the sentence by saying "Get some." And
it was like the Ouya exclusive, that Dragon Cancer, get some, and like it was deleted kind of soon after, but it's like, wow,
why? It turns out this message tested poorly amongst people who don't have cancer.
What has to be the matter with you? I'm out, you know. Fuck yeah, that Dragon Cancer!
They're just really excited to get an exclusive game.
I know. That's crazy excited. I think I lost all reason. We got a Ouya exclusive. Jesus.
Did you happen to see the Ouya animated commercial?
No.
Oh, it was so good that Ouya took it down within hours. Someone else, I believe someone else captured it and put it up on YouTube. I highly suggest watching that.
Oh, man.
It is... Yeah, in the 90s, did you watch Liquid Television on MTV?
Did I?
It seemed like something that would appear on that.
Oh, Ouya. Why? You know what the sad thing is, too? It's almost like, it's something you might almost want to get behind in a way. Not, just like, look, we're going up against the consoles, it's $99, all games are gonna have a demo mode, and it's like, okay, and then it's like, well, here's the launch, it didn't really go so, like, oh, alright, and then it's just like the little console that won't quit, but probably should at this point.
Yeah, I mean, anything that's on the Ouya just runs better on anything else.
Yeah,
but, I mean, if you really have a hankering for the Amazing Frog, Ouya's got you covered.
That is good to know, actually.
Does the Ouya still have that lag with any game you play on it?
Well, the way you fix that is by putting the Ouya on its side, so the top of it faces you. I'm not kidding.
Then you blow on it for a little while.
That might help. I haven't tried that, but I'll have to think about that. But yeah, that's how my Ouya is positioned right now.
Hold on, I didn't know anything about this.
Put your Ouya in bed rest before trying to play.
How does that affect anything? That's like some genie shit. If you shake the Ouya vigorously before use.
Yes, you have to deliver the sacred chant while holding the Ouya before you turn it on.
Yes. Rub the Ouya and you can wish for 3 bad games.
Does it, like, overheat or something in the wrong position, or...?
I don't think so, though honestly, when I first started using the Ouya and I had to download a big update, it did get frighteningly hot.
Wow.
But that's the only... Frighteningly, like I touched it and I was thinking, something's melting inside. But,
I'd better turn it on its side.
That was the only time that... Well, the vents are on the bottom. I mean, I don't know why. That might be one reason why that helps.
What? Wait. So if you put it on the top the way you think you're supposed to, you're covering the fucking vents?
Yeah, the only vents on the system are on the bottom of the box. And the bottom goes flush against the surface you're putting it on. So, yeah. If you want to think about that.
So get some ice trays.
Wow. But that's amazing to me that anybody who could have designed that didn't just see that flaw.
Supposedly, they got I forget the name, they got some celebrity designer to make the Ouya, and I guess the person went totally formal
Celebrity
function.
designer?
Yeah, like someone who was well known. I can't remember the name or what they were known for, but
like
it was
some kind of designer, more or less, like a graphic.
Tim Gunn?
Tim Gunn. And
as far what I heard was that one aspect of it was that they were unable to change any aspect of the design. So whatever this person made for them, that's what they stuck with, even though it has problems.
Yeah.
But they did announce the Ouya 2.0.
Oh god, I can't pronounce this name unfortunately, but it was like Yves Behar.
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah, founder, principal designer of Fuse Project, award-winning industrial design and brand firm. I'm guessing he didn't do some computers before this, or maybe he did. I don't know. But anyway.
For whatever reason, they made it like it was a big deal that he was working on it during the Kickstarter.
Right, I see. Gotcha. That's incredible. That's so awesome. I never knew that. It's like every time you learn something about Ouya, it's like Bitcoin. Like every time you learn a new aspect of it, it's like, wow, that got worse.
Incidentally, that's what it's made out of.
That's the in-game currency for all Ouya games.
Exactly.
Bitcoin. Did you hear, by the way, Proteus told me about this recently, about the Bitcoin Saved My Life Reddit thread.
What?
Oh, yeah, I think maybe this is something you might want to look up on your own, because I don't want to spoil it for you, per se, but this guy basically met a girl who lived in Brazil, decides to go visit her, and finds out her family's very poor, and he has to, like, sleep in the same bed, and everybody walks around naked, and it becomes these, like, really, it starts out like, it's like one of those things you're reading it and it gets worse and worse and worse as you read it, and you're like, is this a joke or something? And then the punchline comes in and is like, and then I remembered Bitcoins! And Bitcoins, like, save the day. And it's like such a horrific story that
I feel like you're missing some plot in between those two things.
Oh, no, you are! I'm purposely leaving out that plot.
Yeah.
You know, because it's an awful sexual misadventure. And it totally shouldn't be, and it's awful. And it's like one of those, like, why would you tell someone about this kind of stories? And then I remember just reading it in horror at my desk and then bursting out laughing at, and then I remembered Bitcoins. And then that was his way out.
You see, Bitcoin beneficial for people the world over.
There you go.
Down with fiat currency.
No, did you hear though, like, apparently it doesn't scale is the new problem with Bitcoin?
How do you mean?
So as the transactions go on, the blockchain you have to download to prove it gets bigger and bigger. So I think now it's up to something like 20 gigs.
Okay.
So if you want to do a Bitcoin transaction, you have to download a 20 gig file.
Okay.
Oh, darn, that was the only thing stopping me from doing that.
It's awesome. I know. You could have been a Bitcoin millionaire.
And that's too much That's too much for my Ouya to store.
Well,
I wanted to use my Ouya to mine some Bitcoin.
Well, that's what Ouya 2.0 is for, I think, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
It makes you money.
And I know there's going to be some libertarians out there who are like, it's not 20 gig, it's only like 4 or some shit like that, so I'm sorry, but whatever, at any rate. But I can't wait for the Ouya 2.0, and I'm going to get that and put it right on top of my PS4, on top of my Xbox One,
And Form Voltron.
And Form Voltron.
Don't forget on its side.
On its side, right. That's so awesome. This podcast has already just bought itself for me. The price of admission has been paid, even though that was 0. But whatever. That's awesome. You did another game, which is very near and dear to my heart on your stream. And I was so fucking skeptical of this.
Okay.
This is where I nail you to the fucking wall, okay?
Oh, no.
Oh, I know.
Oh my god.
This is a gotcha interview.
This is 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors.
Yeah, I think that's the order.
I think it is. I'm not sure, honestly. But 999.
Yes, it is.
I really like that game. And you streamed it live. I have to say, that's a pretty ballsy move, because any video format for a game which is like maybe 16 hours of fucking advancing text,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe like 2 hours of actual gameplay.
Yeah.
How do you pull that off?
Well, I mean, that was actually the first stream that I did, like in the string of weekly streams that I've been doing.
Right.
And I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, basically, the first idea was, I heard about this 999. I kind of want to play it.
Right.
I don't like visual novels, though. And so maybe I'll stream this and get a bunch of people in here who like visual novels so we can talk about it as I'm doing it. And maybe I'll like it that way. I ended up liking the format and liking 999 quite a lot. Though at the beginning, it was kind of trying my patience with
Yeah. No, agreed. You know what the thing with it is? I don't really consider it a visual novel, and I know I find that the people who don't like visual novels say it isn't one, and people who do like it say it is. Try to bring it, but I would call it like an adventure game with extremely long cutscenes.
Right.
But I do feel like there actually is real deal gameplay to it. It's like an adventure game, or really those escape the room kind of flash games, you know?
Oh yeah. There definitely is gameplay in the puzzle rooms.
Yeah.
Though didn't they take those out of the iPad version?
The puzzle rooms?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't even know about the iOS version.
Yeah, there is an iOS version. My understanding is that Chunsoft felt that they wanted everyone to be able to enjoy it, so they took out the puzzle rooms, and it's just pure text. So I don't know how well that works, but the art is in HD.
And that version didn't get ported to the Ouya?
Not yet, though the Ouya does have a fantastic touchpad on the controller, so it could possibly come to that. When I say fantastic, I mean terrible.
Right, of course, yes.
So 999, like I said at the beginning, it was kind of trying my patience with a lot of repeated text, a lot of tutorials, and that opening cutscene where everyone talks to each other for hours before we do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that point, I was kind of, I don't know about this. Then once we got into it, I ended up liking it a lot.
It takes a bit.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and now, just as you know, so I've finished 999, and I read the screenshot Let's Play by Dragonatrix.
Mhm.
Obviously, you've finished it, you did a video Let's Play of it, or stream of it, rather.
Yeah.
Beatus, though, you have not played 999?
I have not, nor its sequel, Valur.
Nor VLR. We won't spoil VLR. I don't think, because you're still playing it, right?
Yeah, I'm just at the beginning.
Okay, so we obviously won't do that. You're gonna like that a lot, by the way. I'll tell you the truth, I did not like VLR as much as 999 at first.
Okay.
And then it like, I felt surpassed the first game easily.
Oh, great.
I really liked 999 a lot. There's certain things about VLR I still don't like, where I'm like, that's kind of dumb or whatever, but like, for the most part, I'm like, that's excellent, and plus, I love Prisoner's Dilemma, so that...
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So after completing the game, how did you feel about the decision to add voice acting?
In
VLR.
Oh, I didn't really like it, and I found I skipped by it anyway.
Yeah.
There were certain voices that I just couldn't buy into. I didn't like Kay's voice. I didn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like Dio's voice. I don't know. I mean, none of the voice actors are particularly bad per se, but
Right.
do you ever like hear a voice actor versus a character, and it like doesn't match what you were thinking and stuff?
Sure.
Like there's an LP going on of this game, the Blackwell series.
Right.
And they're voice-acted games, but they're screenshot Let's Plays. So the one character, I had, like, an idea of his voice. His name's Joey. And then when you actually hear his voice, I'm like, that doesn't sound... He's supposed to be, like, a 40s detective, like a ghost, kind of. And I wasn't imagining him to be, like, you know, the Cagney thing I usually do. Like, that, see, kind of deal. But, I don't know. I had it in his head that he was a little tougher, you know, or a little... Not gritty, but you know what I mean? Like, he had a little bit of, like, a rough edge to him. But then you hear his voice and he just sounds like, yeah, you know, I'm a guy. It's like, oh, all right. That's bad. No, I don't know. It might be something that if you're playing the game, you're more used to it. At any rate, I didn't like it at first, but it grew on it. Not that it grew on me, but like I just found myself skipping it, and I liked the story and everything well enough. I didn't like the characters at first in BLR as much as 999.
Yeah.
Like some of them, it felt like they were going kind of wild out there. So what I liked about 999 is... It's not, you know, there's 9 people, they're on a ship, they're kind of in this sort of like death trap a la Cube or Saw or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're relatively, they're grounded enough in reality where you could, like, care about or you know what I mean? Like,
Right, they're still anime characters, but they're basically more realistic than... They're on the realistic side that you would get from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the most out there one is this one woman's like a belly dancer, so she's wearing a weird outfit.
Yeah.
And then it turns out she's a computer programmer, and you're like, huh? Really? Okay, sure. But, I mean, that said, Virtue's Last Reward, I mean, you have a guy in armor, you have a little kid,
Right.
The one woman is literally not wearing a shirt. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, and then Clover is dressed up like a cave woman, kinda, and it's like, what the fuck is, you know, I don't know. I had a lot of problems with that.
And Zero was a rabbit.
Zero is well, that was ridiculous. You know what the problem too is? I had started playing that game after Danganronpa the thread had gone.
Here we go again.
I know, and Zero the third from that game seemed a lot like Mono Bear from Danganronpa, and I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So
Well, I'm assuming that most things in life remind you of Danganronpa.
Unfortunately,
at this point.
yes, unfortunately. Anyway, but That having been said, I mean, have you played your first Ambidex game in VLR? Or?
No, the last stream I did, actually last night, we stopped right before going back into the Ambidex doors after getting the key cards from the first puzzle room.
You're with Phi right now?
Yes, I am.
Who are you going up against?
I don't know. I haven't gone into the doors yet. That's where we stopped. Right. So that's basically where I am.
Who did you do the room with?
Went with Alice.
Okay.
And we did the crew quarters.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was actually what I did the first time I played too. Everybody in the thread seems to like Luna for whatever reason, but
okay.
I mean, I like her. I liked her better as the story went on. A lot of people like her at the beginning because she's very nice. I didn't really care about her at first, but she's a better. I felt she became a much better character. You know. Right.
I think the characters do kind of start off being mostly one-dimensional. At least, right now.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Would you try turning on the 3D?
I honestly never turn on the 3D for any games on that thing. I always have it turned off all the way.
I do it every so often just to see what they do with it, you know? Mm-hmm. And Virtue's Last Reward's kind of ridiculous in a way because there's very little to it. And you know what I mean? Like
just like boobs in your face or something.
Actually, I think they did that for Dead or Alive Dimensions. But, okay. I've yet to play that.
I mean, it's not really a thing with the 3DS. It's me, like, just in terms of video games and movies, I never liked 3D. The only 3D I've ever used that I've actually liked was the Oculus Rift. Nothing else really. I always thought it was kind of a waste.
How is the Oculus Rift?
Oculus Rift is fantastic. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
If you turn it on its side.
Yes, you have to do that first and only look at it through one eye. But they'll fix the bugs. That's Oculus Rift 2.0.
I see. I like to just push my face up against the TV when I'm playing the game, like have my cheeks smeared on it. I find it gives me the good experience.
There are scare cam videos out there of people using that.
I'm sure there are.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have half the screen of the person's face as they're, looking up on all around and saying, "Wow, this is amazing," and then the game you're actually seeing is just sort of a small curved screen. Which, I was thinking about. I was thinking about doing an Oculus Rift video, but there's really no way to get across what using that thing's like in a video.
I mean, you could go with a body cam. Because I've heard of, there's videos of people using the Oculus Rift and Oculus Rift and falling over and shit like that.
But I mean, even still, it really, you can't get the idea of what it's like without actually using it yourself.
I understand.
It's hard to describe, but it doesn't translate to a screen that you're looking at in front of you.
Does it fool you, I guess, into thinking you're actually sort of in it, or
yeah, there definitely is a part of the brain that is being fooled.
Right.
I mean, different games, the 3D effect, the immersive effect have been different, but there are some games in which go up to an object and that looks like I could reach out and touch that. And I think the big thing for anyone who first uses it is when you first put it on and you're looking in front of you because that's usually where the video game is. It's in front of you, but then you turn around and then there's more video game behind you. And that's always the case. You can't stay watching the video game all of it all the time because it's always all around you and something may be coming up from behind you. You don't know.
I remember when I was younger, they had this virtual reality thing you'd see in certain arcades or movie theaters where you're kind of standing in a ring and wearing a helmet.
Was that Dactyl Nightmare?
Might have been. Yeah, I think so. Where you were holding the gun and there was pterodactyls, but you tried to shoot another opponent with the gun.
Right.
And, it had the 3D where you looked around kind of effect, but the problem is there was a ton of lag.
Oh, sure.
So it was this sort of sickening effect, it didn't work at all. So I was kind of interested in the Oculus Rift because I like 3D in a way. I think it does fool me in terms of I get the depth and it looks like it's whatever. But then my head starts to hurt 10 minutes in, or not that it starts to hurt, but my eyes feel screwy.
Sure.
It's uncomfortable. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely had that when I first started using the Oculus Rift, that I couldn't use it for very long before I start feeling nauseous.
Okay.
As you start using it, it gets better, and it's just something that I found, which I thought was kind of funny. When I originally got the Rift, I thought that the way I would use it would be I would just be sitting at a computer with it on, and I would be using, keyboard and mouse look just like as you normally would with a game.
Yeah.
But I found that really the best way to do it is get out of the chair, stand up, and then just turn your body entirely to look around and hold a gamepad instead of using the keyboard and mouse so you can use that with you. And that's just a much better experience I found to use the Oculus Rift. It must look incredibly goofy if someone came in and was seeing me doing this, but it's a pretty amazing experience to actually do it that way.
What do I have to do to get an Oculus Rift in my hands today?
Today, probably unmentionable things, because when I ordered mine, it took like 3 months.
Can I come to your house and play the Oculus Rift right now?
Well, do you remember those unmentionable things I was talking about?
Please Skype me with a list of whatever these things are.
I'm going to censor this part of the podcast.
This is a family podcast, okay? So
Is it? Okay, alright, well, anyway.
Families come together to listen to this, Slow Beef.
So I'm fucking this stripper with an Ouya. No, anyway. I don't know what part of the agenda that was. Okay. Let's see, we got... Alright. Did you finish your mode LP, by the way?
No, I stopped in the middle. Just because there's one thing that I need to do that I keep procrastinating, and the way it is with me is if I have something I want to do, if I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll just put it off. And this I've just put off for months. Mm-hmm. It's not a big deal. It's just like a little edited montage I have to put together of something that happened in the stream, and that's sort of been delaying the whole thing for months. I think a lot of people were assuming that the reason I stopped the mode LP was because the maker of the game went all truther in the thread. If you saw that.
I didn't. Or if there's a lot of fucked up shit in LP. It might have
What is just somebody typing, "Where is the birth certificate, Obama?"
He was more talking about 9/11.
Oh, truther.
Yeah.
Truther.
Birther you're thinking of.
Yeah. So yeah, that kind of stopped a lot of momentum in that thread.
Well, that'd
like,
do it.
Oh well, okay.
Or did it set up a sequel?
Wow.
I do intend to get back to mode at some point because there still is a lot more to do with that. But I don't know. I just ended up putting it off for one reason or another.
Do you know, by the way, just a weird side thing, I actually met a birther this weekend. It turned out to be somebody in my family.
Your wife?
Did you demand to see the birth certificate to make sure they were in your family?
I was just sort of stunned, you know? Because they're like, yeah, you know what? You ask me for my birth certificate, I just go home and get it for you. And I at that point, I'm like, wait a minute. You would just go home right fucking now and get your birth certificate if I asked you for it. He was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, you are so fucking foolish. And like, I didn't want to go that much farther.
I have mine framed. It's something to be proud of.
You should have one-upped him. You should have scanned your birth certificate, keep it on your phone, and say, well, I've got mine right here. What now?
I did. I went into the whole Hawaii long-form birth certificate thing, but like, regardless of that, I was like, it was one of those things where I'm like, this is why I avoid political conversations with people, because I get so...
And then did you close it by saying, so can you back off? And then slap them in the face?
Oh my god. But, wow, truther and the, I feel like it's one of those things that I think back on and I'm like, that sounds so familiar, but so much wacky shit happens in the Let's Play subforum.
Yeah.
Ever since 9/11, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Danganronpa is a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, pretty much. And, but did you see what they're doing with GPS recently?
What's that?
General bullshit, GPS?
Yeah.
Have you gone there in the past couple of days?
No, I noticed it was renamed, but I don't know why that was.
Basically, all rules are gone.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not all. Like, there's don't post non-work safe images. I think that's like pretty much it. Yeah, so it's kind of no man's land right now. It's interesting, but it's funny in some threads. It's interesting. Yeah. I think it's still getting his feet, but Danganronpa's come up twice, so.
You'll never be able to get away from it.
I can't escape
So there
it.
truly are no rules.
That's right.
Be 10 years from now, someone will send you a black and white teddy bear in the mail.
There you go. Absolutely.
Never forget Slow Beef.
I can't now. No, but you know what? Honestly, what's going to happen, I know my fucking luck is part 3 is going to be announced just as part 2 Let's Play is going to end.
Yeah, let's continue it.
Yeah, no. And then like, or even that one guy will be like, just to give me some hope, like, well, I'm not going to Let's Play it or run it. And then someone else will be like, but I can.
Oh, yeah. If he did not LP it, there would be like 20 people all fighting for it.
Oh, yeah. It's
Just
not gonna
savor
happen.
those 3 months.
Oh, yeah. No.
While you can.
No, the big thing is when we're about to reveal the ending of Danganronpa 2, and I just guessed the thread. But you're not gonna. All you listening aren't gonna laugh when that actually happens.
If you're lucky, maybe one Rowan will come out as a big truther.
Danganronpa's fun, but have you ever thought about what really happened with the World Trade Center?
The next update is just a bunch of pictures of the towers and some diagrams and red circles around areas.
I have this rarely seen image here of the morning of 9/11. Notice one tower painted black, the other white.
He just translates it to the characters who are all talking about it, and that's the case you have to solve. Well, obviously the plane hit it. You've got that wrong! Oh, man, I gotta convince him to do that. Jesus Christ. Alright, you know what, though? I'm gonna be a total hypocrite, and I want to talk to you about some anime shit, because I want to sell diabetes on some anime shit.
Great, let's talk about animes.
Alright, Berserk.
Okay.
You done a Let's Play of Sword of the Berserk for the Dreamcast?
That's right.
Or did you do the PS2 one?
No, it was the Dreamcast one. I haven't actually played the PS2 one.
Diabetes, have you ever heard of Berserk?
No. I've heard of the status ailment from Final Fantasy games.
It's a manga that's been going on for like 10, 20 years or some shit.
Okay.
And I watched the cartoon of it back in the day, and it sucked because it was actually pretty good and interesting.
Excuse me, did you say cartoon?
Yes, I did.
Is that vernacular correct?
Slowby, if you're losing so much credibility right now.
I know. No, did you ever watch the anime or read the comics?
I watched the old anime. I read a few volumes of the manga, and I kind of stopped because I was figuring if I was going to continue, I should probably wait until it's done. But who knows if I'll be alive at that time?
Yeah, it's actually so. How do you sell this story to somebody like Diabetes who's never heard of it?
I mean, it's a tale of swords, of sorcery. It's a tale of revenge. A tale of a man trying to find his place in the world from a poor, violent upbringing, trying to self-actualize.
So it's every JRPG.
It's
a lot more violent.
There's an undercurrent of humanistic free will versus nihilistic predetermination.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a fucked up story about like a guy who's going off to fight a battle he cannot possibly win.
So it's every JRPG.
Yeah, actually it is. Now that you mention it. But Berserk really sells you on, yeah, he's not winning this one. I don't know. Or at least that's the interpretation I got out of it. But,
right, but he is the only one who could possibly win it.
Right, but yeah. It's a really fucked up story. And what sucks about it is the anime, they skip a major character from the comics, and that major character has to like save the guy from like a cliffhanger kind of situation, let's say. But then they never introduce him in the anime, so it just ends on the cliffhanger, and that's that.
I mean, you talking about a nihilistic ending. I guess that's it.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I mean, because I was watching it. Well, the problem is then in the earlier episodes they show shit from ahead of the event, the eclipse.
Yeah, that's right.
So then, like, so you're like, okay, it does go on, but then you're like, I remember watching the last episode, and I'm like, they got like 5 minutes left. How can they wrap this whole thing up? And then I'm like, wait, what? They don't? Like, fuck you, then, assholes. This is why I don't like anime.
They made a new anime, didn't they?
I kind of like it. Did they?
I wasn't paying attention to it really, but I thought I remembered seeing screenshots from a new Berserk anime.
If you can get over the fact that the sword really is just the guy's dick, I mean, it's pretty good, you know?
Sold.
No, it's like crazy phallic. It's like he's basically telling the world, I keep this for balance. No, he like, it's like makes the Final Fantasy VII shit look like, you know, normal, more or less. But if you can get past that, it's actually like a neat story, and it doesn't go into the usual tropes that make you go, okay, this whole thing is stupid, you know?
There are some tropes, but I think overall it kind of surpasses that.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind though, like I never read the comics, so like I know the one character from the Dreamcast isn't in what I saw, like the little fairy elf dude or whatever.
Yeah, Puck.
Puck, yeah. So I had no idea about Puck.
He's actually a major character in the story who, like you said, was not in the anime.
Right.
which I guess for the part of the anime, the part of the story they show in the anime, which is the flashback,
Yeah.
like that's fine because he's not in that part.
Right.
But yeah, in the present day, he is all over the place.
Yeah. Well, Skull Knight's never in it, so he can't get out of the eclipse, which is the whole problem with the anime. But anyway. So are you going to watch this, Diabetes?
Oh, I already ordered all of them.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Make sure you brush up on your Japanese so you can read the manga in the language it's intended to be.
Please. Come on. I am in Alabama.
It's really not a bad story at all. It just never ends, so you can't really read it. It's not a bad story, but you can't possibly finish it.
Are you trying to unsell me on it now?
In any format. No, I'm unselling myself on it now. Like, what the hell am I doing selling this? This is the stupidest thing ever. Let's go back to Tekken. No, So there's that. Golgo 13. What else could we talk about?
Have we talked about Deadly Premonition at all?
We haven't, really.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How'd you stumble upon that gem?
Well, I think the first time I saw it was when it was first coming out. There was a video posted on, I think, Destructoid that was a video of the first breakfast conversation in the game. And I thought, well, I have to have this. So I bought an Xbox 360 just for that. I didn't have one before. Just because, for me, I always kind of know if a game is for me, and I knew that game was for me, just seeing the cutscene. So, I played through the game, I really enjoyed it, and really wanted to do the most I could do for an LP for that. Like I said, the game is very unique, so as far as how good an LP it could be, it's mostly based on how interesting the game is in itself.
I gotta tell you, I really liked I only watched your Let's Play of it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of lost me at the ending.
Oh yeah. That seems to be a common thing. Some people will like the twist, and other people will feel that it kind of goes off the rails and wasn't the story they thought it was going to be.
I didn't mind we can spoil it, right? I mean, yeah, in this podcast.
You just make sure you put some spoiler warning graphic.
Oh yeah,
in the YouTube video, so everyone
People
can
will see it in their coffee before they watch this.
Well, this is probably going to be the last subject we talk about on this podcast. So if you do want to play the PC version and you haven't, I think now is the time to tune out.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, by the way, I guess before we go into it, did they fix the thing where one of the early trading cards spoils like the? Oh
no, the trading cards are all the same.
Oh, well,
and actually, on the PC version, there are some spoilers in the achievements.
Oh,
really?
Oh, what the fuck? Did they not have a lot of confidence in the story, or?
Apparently, I think Swery was asked about the trading card thing at one point, and he had no problem with there being spoilers in them. So okay, sure, whatever.
I think the issue I don't mind the York Zack thing. Really, I think that's fine. And I'm completely fine with it. Actually, I think that's a pretty cool twist. I think more there's a weird tone, contradiction maybe, or conflict, or something off about. Forrest being... Is it Forrest? I haven't seen
Oh, yeah, Forrest Kaysen.
Yeah. Forrest being sort of the main villain. This whole sequence of events where he's sort of cartoony and silly, but the events that are happening are very serious and dark.
Right.
To the point where I'm like, this is just not working for me anymore.
Okay.
Before, I know there was a disconnect in sort of the way York acts and how eccentric he is. And things like that, and the murders being kind of gruesome and things like that. But I don't know. I just felt like at the end, adding the combination of Forrest in, who's sort of eccentric and maybe even a little cartoony himself, especially in the final boss fights with him,
Right.
It didn't sit well with me, I guess yeah. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I guess I'm just trying to think about that. That plot twist was something that I really liked when I came to it. I think. Because kind of the impression I got was when you find out what York really is, he's sort of a shield which protects Zack and makes everything tolerable for him, the outside world.
I see.
That kind of gives the impression that even though there's all this grisly, disgusting stuff happening all around, York is always completely cool, collected, and is able to, zing off one-liners and talk about old movies because that's what he's there for. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, that sort of facade gets stripped away, and then everything is just real bad.
Okay. That's interesting. I like that. I like that take. Did they ever explain, what exactly is going on with the combat sequences?
How so?
what are they?
Okay, so Swery released a graphic at one point which showed sort of a map of the spiritual world. Like, you have the physical world, Earth, and then around it is the red forest and the green forest, which represent malice and goodness, I guess.
Okay.
And sort of neutral territory in between. So basically, what happened in Greenvale is Forrest, in this experiment in conjunction with the U.S. military, spread this purple gas across the town that were made out of his supernatural red seeds, and this gas is still in the ground. Now, it rains a lot in Greenvale, so when it rains, the gas gets released out of the ground. And when people breathe this gas, they become closer to the spiritual world. The zombies that you see are dead people who died in the massacre that happened in the 50s. That they died because of the gas. They're sort of trapped there in that limbo. So when you breathe the gas, you are sort of passing into that.
I gotcha. So I guess that's sort of like when they're saying don't want to die kind of thing is maybe they're sort of spirits from the massacre that happened back then kind of still roaming around type of deal.
Right. They're just normal townspeople that got, driven mad insane by the gas and then all just killed each other.
See, like that's the interesting thing about it is because I thought it was an extremely creepy addition to the game, but it seemed I thought the shadows rather were pretty creepy, but like
yeah.
I really felt like, which I think probably has some truth to it, that the combat was a bit tacked on, where you say like this, without it this isn't much of a game, or much of a game in the sense that we think will sell. You know?
Yeah.
So it was sort of added on. So,
That's why it's such a good game to Let's Play.
That's what people tell me. That people say thank you for LPing this game because I didn't want to play it.
Well, it's a shame. What else does Swery do? I'm kind of blanking.
Well, I mean, first of all, what he's working on right now is a game called D4, which is going to be exclusive to the Xbox One.
Okay.
And he'll probably make me get an Xbox One just for that, because honestly, I don't really have any interest in the new systems, but I kind of want to play that. Before that, he worked on Spy Fiction, which I did an LP
of. That's right, yes.
Yeah. He worked on Extermination. I have not played that one. I think that was PS2.
I have that game.
Yeah.
I never played it. Like, it's one of those games that I put in my my little rack of games, and I'm like, oh yeah. Is it right here, actually? It's not right here, but it's around here somewhere. I don't know what that would have mattered to the podcast were it there, but,
You're just going to play it right now.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll stream it together.
Sure.
Absolutely. Swery's an interesting guy. He seems to retweet things that you actually tweet to him and things like that.
Yeah, he's very social. He's very active on Twitter.
He'll follow everyone who follows him.
Yeah, he literally does that.
Yeah, I remember I think he followed, was it either me? Like Slowbeef, or I forget, or something. And I was like, holy shit! And then I'm like, oh wait, he follows everybody. It's something like that. He probably unfollowed me by now, but anyway, this guy doesn't talk about anything important. But it's been about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we're coming right to the end of our podcast. Is there anything you wanted to plug, or?
Not really. I mean, I'm just doing what I've continued to do.
Okay.
Just came here to chat.
Awesome. Well, we hope
you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah, we hope you had a good time, and
I did.
We certainly did. So great.
Awesome.
You're no Northern Lion, but I'd put you above Total Biscuit. No, I'm kidding.
Well, who is though? I mean, I'm at least 200 Binding of Isaac videos away from being able to reach that lofty plateau.
Well, I'm at least 400 away. So I figure if I play enough Papers, Please, it'll happen. But ladies and gentlemen, he is Super Great Friend. You can go see his website on supergreatfriend.com, and his YouTube channel is, of course, Super Great Friend. It's Super Great Friend. On Twitter, he has no D. So thanks a lot. And I guess we'll see you folks later.
Boom.
Okay.
You didn't say anything, so I was like...
all right. I don't know. I thought you were doing the outro.
Either of you. I mean, so I was like, wait, did I just...
You kind of covered it.
Oh, okay.
I'm still recording, so we can include this.
Sure. I mean, why the hell not? I don't care. No, awesome.